So what is a CD? How does it work? Is it better than the savings accounts? Is it better than the stock market, right? And I want to answer all these questions right now. Now, basically, if you don't know anything about a CD, you probably don't even know what it stands for. It stands for Certificate of Deposit. And the way a CD actually works is basically like a bond in a sense, but not really, right? So I'm going to use an example right now so you guys can actually get the illustration in full, because this is actually how I learned the most, right? So for example, if my name is Tommy, which it is, and I walk into a bank and I say, hey, I need a CD. They tell me, all right, so you know what it is? I say, no, I really don't know what it is. They tell me, well, a CD is basically you're locking in your money for a certain amount of time, and because you're locking it in and you're not able to take it out like a checking account or a savings account, we give you a higher interest rate on it, right? So example, if I go to Chase and they're giving me 0.15% on our savings accounts, that's 0.15%, less than 1%. And I'm going to keep talking trash about Chase until they fix this, okay? And they tell me, well, rather than giving you that, we'll give you 2% for one entire year, for 12 months. And once you finish that 1 year, then we give you back the full amount. So for example, I put in $2,000. I mean, if I put in $10,000, right? For example, at the end of the year, I get back $200, which is very good rather than getting back 0.15%, right? Let's do some math real quick, right? So for example, if I put in $10,000 and they were giving me 0.02%, I get back $200. If I just had it in a savings accounts with Chase and they gave me back 0.0015, I would have gotten back $15 off of that $10,000, right? It seems like a very big deal. Now, here's the thing. I'm using Chase as an example, but in reality, there are savings accounts out there like Marcus by Goldman Sachs that give you they give you 2.25%. Vero gives you 2.80%. So there's a lot of savings accounts out there that give you very good savings rates without having to lock your money in for a very long time. Now, let's go back to the CD, right? So I'm still in the bank. Same example, okay? I just asked them what a CD is. She just answered me, because now you know what a CD is, right? And now I tell her, well, what happens if, for example, I need to take the money out before it actually matures, right? Before those 12 months, because we are in a promise that in 12 months I take out the money. If I don't, what happens? If I take it out earlier, what happens? Well, what basically happens is this. They penalize you for doing this, right? I know at Chase specifically, they are kind of like a little bit more stricter than any other company out there, and I don't know why they do this. I think they're going to have to change eventually because things are changing now, okay? So basically what they do is this, right? If you're doing a CD for like 24 months or less, they penalize you 1%, right? And in this case, if you deposited $10,000 into the CD and they take 1%, that's $100, right? But if you've only been doing it for like around like say like 10 months, in reality, you only earned around $166 in interest. I did the math beforehand. Don't think I'm smart or anything like that. I really prepared for this video, right? So you only have $166. In this case, it take $100. Right? They take the $100 and then you're good to go. You take the $10,000 plus the $66, but in reality, you just wasted this amount of money in that bank account for so long, and now you just penalized everything. Now, if it's beyond 24 months, then you get penalized 2%. That means they take your first year earnings like it's nothing, okay? So it's a very big deal. Now, what happens is this, right? What happens if I've only been doing it for 2 months and then I don't have enough money and I don't have 1% of like for 2 months, that's like $100 still. What happens then? Well, what they do then is that they take all the interest that your money has earned and they give you back your capital and they're like, get out of here, okay? That's what happens. So you never really lose your capital, but you do lose time, and time is money, so you are losing that. Now, guys, I really do want to talk about a few things in this video, right? Because I've seen a whole bunch of videos on YouTube that actually talk to you about a CD, but they really don't give you strategies to do it in a very smart way where you get to earn money and take out money and be liquidable every single year without having to lock in your money for like 10,000 years or something like that, okay? So I want to explain everything, the types of CDs that they are out there, because there are several types, okay? But it's basically the same idea, okay? The same idea of you're locking in your money for a certain amount of time, and because of this, they give you a higher interest rate. And the reason the bank actually does this is because it's more predictable for them, and they can actually take your money, invest it, all while knowing that you're not going to take it out in a very long time. So they have this big pool of money that they know is not going to mature until a certain date. So they can use it as they want to and then make as much money as they can. All right, that's how it works. So now I really want to talk about, before I even get to the types of CDs, I want to get to this point, right? I really want to talk about this because it's very interesting, right? For example, all right, when is it time for me to invest into a CD, right? If the stock market is doing terrible, then you invest into a CD because it's probably going to be doing better than a savings account, right? If you think that the stock market is going to keep going up, then invest in the stock market meanwhile, because guess what? And it's very weird right now, you know, because when the stock market is going up, usually like savings accounts are going down, right? But right now the stock market is going up, and also savings accounts are going up, and also CDs are going up, right? So what this means is, for me, exactly that at one point it will be falling, and when it falls, you need to be prepared, okay? So for example, if you get locked in into a CD for an entire year and then rates keep going up, for example, you're locked in for an entire year on a CD that earns you 2%, right? Maybe 2.5%, whatever it is, right? When in reality, you're locked in there, you can't take it out, or you get a penalty. But what if a savings account comes out, they offers like 3% or 4%? And you're just looking there like a dummy because you just could have put in a savings account and have liquidity at any moment without having to be locked in. So that's a very good risk that you're actually running, okay? Well, not a good one, a bad one, all right? So guys, how do you actually get around this? How do you get money from a CD all the time without actually having to worry about anything, okay? So how it works is like this, all right? I'm going to give you guys this idea. You guys can use it. It's called the ladder of a CD, right? So basically, a lot of people don't know this, but you can open up to 50 CDs in one bank, all right? And you can go all the way up to $1 million in one CD, all right? So it's very interesting. I know you're probably saying, Tommy, I don't have so much money, okay? So what are you talking about? But in reality, eventually you will have a ton of money. So that's why I'm making this video, because if you're looking at this video, then you will make a lot of money, and I believe in you, all right? So basically it works like this, right? So if you open up, right, 5 different CDs, all that mature at different times and at different rates, this is what happens, right? For example, if you go to Citibank, right, I think it's Capital One, they give you, on a 1 year, they give you 2.70%. On 3 years, they give you 2.85%. On 5 years, they give you 3.10%. This is not the highest ones. There are other ones out there that offer higher rates. I will be talking about the options later in the video, but for now, we're going to focus on this. All right, so imagine you take out 5 different ones, right? You have $10,000, right? We divide $10,000 into 5, you get $2,000, right? So you put in $2,000 that matures in 1 year, $2,000 that matures in 2 years, $2,000 that matures in 3 years, 4 years, and 5 years, right? So that way you have $5,000, and then guess what happens like that? What happens is you end up having liquidity every single year. So the first year, you get paid 2.8%. The second year, you still get paid a high interest rate. The third year, you still get paid. The fourth, you get paid. And then the fifth year, you get paid a very high interest rate, but you won't feel like you really had your money locked in for such a long time, because every single year prior to that, you were getting paid, you back your capital with your interest, and then you were able to make more deals like that. All right? So basically, it works like this. If my name is Tommy, I open up 5 different CDs, and every single year they mature, then every single year I have money to take out without any penalties, without any problems. And that's what I really want you guys to do if you're considering this. For me, I personally just do savings accounts and like the stock market, because I don't need to have my money locked in, especially when you're an entrepreneur and you constantly need money. But if you have a ton of money set aside and you probably won't need it, then you can set it up in this method, and that way you will have money that's coming into you every single year without having to be like locked in like crazy, all right? And one thing I do want to tell you guys before I start telling you about the options and the best places to go get your CDs and a whole bunch of things, this is what happens, right? Your CDs get calculated and get added interest every single month, just like a savings accounts. But here's the thing that I don't like about that. When it comes to you like getting money back, you want your interest to be calculated on a daily basis. That means that every single day you get your money inside of your account. Whatever like profit it was for that day, you get it inside of your account. If you're telling me, Tommy, what are you talking about? That's like way too much. And at the end of the month, it's still the same amount of money. What does it matter if I get it like a daily basis or a monthly basis or quarterly basis, right? It matters because it's more reassuring to have the money on a daily basis than a monthly basis, and even like further along, all right? And by the way, if you notice, credit cards, they calculate interest on a daily basis, all right? When it comes to paying back debt, they do it like this, but when it comes to giving you money, they do it the opposite way, so that way they can keep the money in their pockets for a very long time. Because in 30 days, if a bank makes a $30 billion investment or $30 million investments, they make a ton of money. And if they have to pay out investors interest daily, then it would be a whole different deal. So that's why they actually do it on a monthly basis. I just want to make sure you guys understand that. Now, just like I promised, I will give you guys the exact types of CDs. So for example, there are types that are called liquid CDs. These CDs offer like lower interest rates, but they are liquidable, and you can take out your money whenever you want without any penalty. Now, why would you do this? I don't know. Like, why would you want to do this when in reality, the lower the interest rate is going to be, you probably can just get that off of savings accounts and still get the liquidity without having the CD type thing, all right? So you don't need that. The second one is called a bump up. Okay, the second one is called a bump up CD, right? Basically how it works with a bump up CD, if, for example, if you go to Chase, you get a 2%, and then Citibank is offering like 3%, then Chase has to compete with Citi and offer you that rate. That's how bump ups work. Now, there is another one called a step up CD. Basically what happens is if you have a ton of money, that's what I think basically. If you have a ton of money and you're investing it into a CD or whatever, and you're locking it away, then you make an agreement with the bank, and they tell you, well, every single year we're gonna step up your interest rate by this much, and you guys already agreed on that. So that's what it basically is. And then you have an IRA CD, and then you also have a brokerage CD. With the IRA CD, you already know what it's about. You basically, the interest that you do earn, It's not taxable, okay? So it's basically for your retirement, so you're good to go. And then with the brokerage CDs, it's very more lucrative, and the reason is because when you're doing it with a brokerage, they earn you more interest. But in reality, when it's time to take out the money, if you're going to take out the money before time, it's going to be very hard to actually take out the money without getting a huge penalty and without having to wait a huge amount of time to actually get the money back. And I mean like 2 weeks. And 2 weeks is a very long time if you're going to be breaking a CD, because I assume if you're going to be breaking the CD agreement, it's because of an emergency. You don't want to have to wait 2 weeks to get your money back, all right? So what are the top CDs out there being offered? What are the highest interest rates that actually you're doing? And are they beneficial to you? Well, beneficial to you might be liquidity. For me, they're not. They could be like 10%, and I still won't accept it because I need my money now. I need to be able to make investments on a daily basis, okay? So here's the thing. Basically, we have the Capital One CD, which is offering for 1 year, they give you 2.7%, which is 70%, well, which is 0.70% higher than the Chase ones that gives you like 9%, like, well, what they give you like 2% for like 9 months. Listen, man, Chase is falling behind like crazy. I don't know what they're doing. I don't know what the plan is, but they need to bump things up, okay? Now, here's the thing. Capital One gives you for 1 year, they give you 0.70%. For 3 years, they give you 2.85%. And for 5 years, they give you 3.10%. That's the highest one. And for me, that's the only one I really need to tell you right now. Why? Because in reality, I only really care about which one is giving me the most money and has the most lucrative terms, because I don't want to have loyalty for a bank when banks just want to make money. So whatever the highest rate is out there, just go ahead and just try to get that. And by the way, you can open up to 50 different CDs inside of a Capital One account, so you're good to go. And you can always go up to $1 million, and you have no minimum, literally. So you can just put in, you can start with $1, $2, $5, $10. And guys, I do want to say this, right? I have a link down below that shows you all the options. This is by NerdWallet, so you can check that out. But before I even tell you guys that, which I already did, I want to tell you this, right? I don't recommend CDs to people that don't have any money like that, okay? If you have $10,000 and then you're thinking like, oh my gosh, I have $10,000, I don't know where to invest it, I don't know what to do with it, then I'm just going to put it into Capital One. Capital One is going to make a ton of money off your money, okay? So what I want you to do is, rather than taking that money and just putting it aside for like 3, 4, or 5 years, and rather than invest into the stock market or like savings accounts, I want you guys to invest into knowledge and actually understanding things. So invest into seminars, like getting to know like how to make more money so you can actually make more money. Because if you need a CD, it's because like you have a ton of money. I'm talking about hundreds of thousands of dollars. That's the only reason that I would justify like getting a CD at this point, okay? If I have hundreds of thousands of dollars and they're just like sitting aside and I don't have an investment right now, I'll put in a CD. But since I'm not, and I'm an entrepreneur and I constantly need more money and I'm always figuring out ways to make more money, then I don't need a CD right now. What I need is more investments. So focus on investments. Focus on getting the knowledge to know what an investment is. Focus on getting the knowledge to know where you can actually put money to make more money. So guys, don't just take the easy route, get a CD, leave your money there, earn like no interest. It's not that good. And by the way, guys, if you're wondering what an interest rate on a business is, you can literally like start flipping things on eBay and you make like 200% of your money every single day when you're flipping, okay? So just think about that too. I have a video on that too. Guys, I'll see you guys next time on the next video. Thanks for watching. My name is TommyBryson. If you guys have any more videos, and by the way, this video idea was by Angel. He commented down below, told me to do this video, so here I am doing it. So whatever video you guys have for me to do, just tell me and I'll get it done. All right, I'll see you guys next time on the next video. Subscribe and like. That's how I know you guys like the videos, and I'll see you guys next time, and peace.
You've got to start at the bottom.